heat stuff.
Ooh, and our high pressure has shifted south. That means we're going to get a break into New England, but things really heat up in the center of the country. Look at our heat advisories shooting all the way up to Minnesota and South Dakota, where our heat index could be 100 degrees, even hotter, of course, as we go farther south. Fort Smith, we could be nearing the 1-teens as we head into the afternoon. Once you get around 2, 3, 4 o'clock, that's when it gets to be the hottest. Notice at 8 p.m. with that sun setting, it's still going to feel like 106. So you don't get any break into the evening hours. Today, 105 in Des Moines is what it's going to feel like. There will be showers coming through, so that will hopefully cool us off a little bit there. And then tomorrow, the heat continues. We could be close to a record in Atlanta. We might tie it. We could tie into Birmingham. We're going to be close in a lot of cities when it comes to setting record highs. And in Little Rock, you factor in that humidity once again. Look at 10 a.m., already 101 degrees. So even getting out early, you can barely avoid the heat. You can't. 101 is excessive. So tomorrow, more of that triple digit warmth getting all the way up into St. Louis and Wichita. And that means that there's a lot of areas that are major or extreme risk of getting some sort of heat illness. So keep that in mind. The heat exhaustion, heat stroke. Heat exhaustion, it can hit you. It caught me off guard the other week where I didn't feel good after I'd done a run outside. I had a headache later in the day, that type of a thing. So you want to stay hydrated in a cool place, cancel those outdoor activities, don't do a rookie move like I did. And then there's that poor air quality you have to worry about because you have that hot, stagnant air not going anywhere. And then, of course, all the exhaust that's happening, it just sits there. Oklahoma City, we're going to be essentially 10 plus degrees above average all the way through Friday. This is basically to show you the heat is not going anywhere. It's sticking right where it is. Atlanta, we're going to be also 10 degrees above average, and this does not include the humidity. That's the actual air temperature. And notice as we go through midweek, we still, from Kansas to Texas, all the way really into the mid-Atlantic, we stay above 90 degrees. So with that said, you don't want to leave any. A lot of the storms have been through the northern tier because our high pressure has been dominating the story, right? And so Jordan was just mentioning some of the energy we have through the northern tier. You see this little trough, got a little spin here, we got energy here. But we do have a surface feature that's going from the northeast all the way down to the south. And that's going to help kick off some thunderstorms, which will be much needed because it is so hot. I mean, it's really bad. If you're not down here, if you're not used to it, even if you are used to it, it's just like that next level of heat that you can feel on your skin. So this will cool down the atmosphere. You don't even have to be right underneath the thunderstorm. If you get some of the clouds, if you get the downdraft coming out to cool you, you will be feeling that. And that happens tomorrow too. Florida, we don't need the rain in South Florida. Miami is nearly 8 inches above average for the month. Tampa is 2. Orlando is 3 below. So it's kind of central and North Florida where it's been dry, but it's been really wet in South Florida. Remember, we had all of that rain the other week. We had 20 plus inches of rain in a lot of places. Sadly, we are going to get a lot of that heavy rain from Alligator Alley southbound as we go through the day today. We'll get that daytime heating that's going to help, kick in some of that sea breeze. And you'll notice that you'll get diurnal heating. Notice in the middle of the night, no storms because the sun sets, we lose the heat, and then we lose the storms. There's a look at Miami, and this is essentially what every forecast in Florida is going to look like with the scattered showers and the thunderstorms. We get it through midweek, and even as we head into our Thursday, not a whole lot changing. It is summer after all in Florida. It is the rainy season. So none of this is really a surprise or a shock. It's pretty typical. Overall, 1 to 2, but within these heavier downpours, you're going to get more than that. So it's going to be a locally heavy event. But look at Tampa. Again, the same. Scattered storms. We get the sunshine. We got the Rays playing. But we have a dome gym, so this wouldn't affect us.
No, and it's nice to see Tampa with a surplus.
Speaking of the burn, I was with some friends this weekend and their teenage daughter. Apparently, the UV thing is a cool thing. I was like, it's like a UV of 10 now. That's just I don't know. I didn't really get it, but I was like, okay.
What do you mean?
Yeah. So they're just like, it's a cool thing to talk about is the UV index. I was
really?
Like, that's cool. Yeah.
The UV's hip.
Yeah, apparently it is. So there you go. We're tapping right into it.
I'm glad we're talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Still ahead on America's Morning Headquarters. It's Lightning Safety Awareness Week, and let's take a look ahead in the T-Mobile Coast to Coast forecast and give you a peek at temperatures in your area as you plan your travel for the week ahead. And we are going to stay pretty hot. That's going to be the big story as we go through the week today. 98 into Kansas City, all the way up into South Dakota, triple-digit heat index. As we head into tomorrow, the sun returns to the northeast, but the heat will be coming back as well. We'll have a few scattered thunderstorms for us, dry along the west coast, so no issues there. As we go into our Thursday, at least Chicago is going to cool off back down into the 70s. We have been roasting here around the Great Lakes. Friday, we see another system come on through. Thankfully, as we go through the week, at least this week, we don't have to worry about tropical entities. But once we get into July, will things change? We'll talk about that. Ones there too.
Yeah.
America's Morning Headquarters has you covered all morning long. Alex Wallace is here with a look at what's coming up at 9 a.m. And we've been talking about the beaches all morning long.
Yeah.
I can't believe all these rip current deaths.
It really is out of hand, right? It really is.
Just at Jack's Beach.
Yeah.
Did you see a lot of people in the water, even if they had red flags up?
There were more than probably there should have been. I'll say that. Yeah, for sure.
And
a lot of surfers out there, but a lot of people who were, getting a little too deep.
Yeah. All right, Alex. Thanks. I'll tell you, I was born and raised in Florida. Even yellow is rough. I'm not kidding you. That yellow flag went out. I remember as a kid being like, meh. Not going too deep in because it can those waves can be really intense. We do have moderate to high rip current along much of the East Coast. Even where it's low, you should swim by a lifeguard. Okay, so keep that in mind. Here are the flags. We were just talking about them in that piece. And I really don't like to go in when it's green, and I'm like a risk taker with that kind of stuff. But I've been kind of taken out by a wave one too many times, and you felt like you drank the whole ocean up your nose in your mouth, and it's really scary at times. Myrtle Beach. We'll see some thunderstorms here, so make sure you get out there before those pop off later in the afternoon and evening. And as we go up the coast to the OBX, if you see someone with OBX on their bumper sticker, that means the Outer Banks. That includes Hatteras here. And as we continue our way up into Virginia Beach, water temperature getting a little bit cooler. And of course, as we continue to go north from there, you are going to see your water temperatures in the 50s and 60s off the coast here of AC, Atlantic City, New Jersey, where they say saltwater taffy came from, that there was a flood into one of the taffy shops with the saltwater, and that's how they got saltwater taffy. That's the story as we work our way all the way here into Chatham, Mass, Jordan. 59 degrees, a little too cold.
I could totally go for some saltwater taffy right now.
It looks like a jellyfish. I still can't tell, but I think it is. It looks kind of wide like that he looked up at. You can catch the best of Uncharted Adventure Sundays at 10/9 Central right here on the Weather Channel. It's been a while since I've done any sort of snorkeling, Jordan, but the stuff you see, the colors of the different fish.
If you got that good clarity, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's true.
It is so amazing. Well, as we kind of move the